Hey everyone, it's Wolfran here, and I've got a video on the HDR here, which is the best sniper in Warzone and multiplayer at the moment. It is different to the other snipers, and that's something to bear in mind, and we'll go through some of those differences. But in my mind, this is the sniper I go to use for most of my sniping. So you can see some clips here of Warzone and ground war sniping, just showing you some of the things that it can do. Before I get into the main video, if you can just leave me a like, a subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. As you see, I'm a new YouTuber, just getting into it, and it's something I'm looking to develop. If you've got any comments, any tips, any suggestions, by all means leave them down in the comments. I'd also like to know what your best loadouts are for this weapon. I'm not going to go through the HDR in detail. This isn't a really long video. This is about what I think the best setup for this gun is for several different circumstances. Now, one of the things I say all the time when I'm talking with people about how to set up their weapons is that you really have to set it up according to your playstyle and what you're using it for. There are different times when you're going to want different setups on the weapon. In this particular scenario, I'm going to give you two different ones, dealing with two different scenarios. One's going to be dealing with how to get a lot of kills very quickly for the camos, and the second one is effectively what I use on Warzone and I'll be using for the long shot kills for the camo. That's the two different setups. Timestamps are in the description if you just want to skip to those parts of the video, don't mind at all, but I am going to just quickly deal with the camo grind on this gun. Now, in terms of the camos, it's not a difficult gun to get through the camos very quickly. It was actually really enjoyable. It wasn't like some of the other weapons. In fact, this was the last weapon, so I kept it to last because I actually wanted to do something that was a bit more fun and enjoyable to use than some of the other weapons that you had to grind out on, notably the riot shield and the foul in the end did drive me a bit mad. This gun, on the other hand, way easier to do it, but one of the things with the snipers is getting through a lot of kills. The particular camos that people always struggle with is long shots. You're really not going to struggle with long shots with this gun because it is built for long shots. And we'll go through the build for long shots, but where to do them in ground war is way easier on ground war to get. You'll see a lot of my footage here is from ground wars. It's all part of the grind that I did in order to get it. You'll see a lot of the shots are long shots by default without difficulty. Equally, if you're trying to get mounted kills, you're basically going to do the same thing, just mount up before you take the shot in order to get it. In terms of the one thing that drove me mad on the sniper rifles, and luckily I did the HDR last, on the AX50 took me absolutely ages, but I didn't really think about how the best way to do it. The best way to do it for double kills, the double kills you get some time, but not a huge amount of time to get the two kills. And with the HDR, you've got the slowest reload speed, you've got the slowest chambering the next bullet speed, which means that that time gets really cut down on it. So effectively, I quickscope. As you can see here, this is how we're going to with Damascus in the end, and so I quickscope in order to get the kills as quickly as possible. That also meant I could grind through all the other camos really quickly without any difficulty. So certainly that was my recommendation for this weapon. Just going to take you through the quickscoping build. Firstly, I don't use a muzzle attachment for the quickscoping. Everything takes away from ADS, and with quickscoping the only thing you're interested in is ADS, because you're going to try and do these things as quickly as possible. HDR is unusual. There is no barrel that lowers your ADS speed. All of them make it worse, so all of them are useless for this build. Don't bother putting barrel, just keep it with the stock barrel. Tac laser is a must. It's pretty much a must on most of my builds because it has a lot of hidden advantages, but it crucially here ADS speed stability. In terms of scope, I prefer the VLK. Great OPTIC, gives you the decent speed. You can go for the Cronin OPTIC if you want. You can go for the standard sniper scope. I just don't like it. I don't think it's that quick on the HDR. And of course, the stock is got to be your Stalker Scout stock, which is the only one that reduces the ADS. That effectively leaves your final perk as a matter for you. I choose Sleight of Hand because I don't really want to put on the extended mags, which do slow your ADS speed and allows you to reload quickly. You can, of course, switch it out, put focus on if that's your preference. You can put one of the larger mags on if that's your preference. I mean, really, that's something you just need to mess around with and see what you like. Because I had a leftover attachment slot, I basically put the bipod on, because if I do crouch, then I can get a bit of an improvement. In terms of the build for the substantive weapon that I use, monolithic suppressor is a must on the weapon. It gives you a lot of significant improvements, including bullet velocity, and that's the key for the long shots. And the huge advantage of the HDR is the bullet velocity. HDR pro barrel, loads of advantages there. Tac laser, I've been through that. That's just standard on this build. You've got to use it. In terms of the scope, I'll come back to that. I stick with the Stalker Scout scope for the ADS speed. Again, that's the one thing that gives you a bit of ADS advantage. Now, the final attachments really matter for you. I go for the variable zoom scopes. I think it's a bit better. Certainly for my style of play, allows me to get better shots off. You can go for the extended mags, bearing in mind they reduce your ADS speed a bit. You can put on a sleight of hand if you wanted to, or focus. Really, that's a point where I think you all have an option. You can also just run it with a 4 attachment combo and with nothing else. My preference is the variable zoom scope, as you'll see I've used it several times in the clips you've got. The other thing to talk about is the reticle. I hate the HDR standard reticle. It's well worth grinding it out for one of the other 2 reticles that you can get next. This is the one I use, the one with a little circle in the middle. I don't think the next ones along are going to be much use, but there we go. So that's the loadout I suggest for the HDR. Again, please leave me a like, leave me a subscribe. What's your best loadout that you use for the HDR? Thanks for watching.